And changes the way we live, but now a new generation of gadget geeks is using technology to give the phrase do-it-yourself a whole new meaning. Here's NBC's Ann Thompson.
Time was do-it-yourself referred to home improvement. Today, technology has given DIY a whole new meaning, making it possible to edit your own movies, record your own music, even publish your own political column.
What we have now is a generation that's much more technologically savvy. Rather than becoming slaves to the technology, it empowers us.
A generation defined not by age, but by attitude, called Generation C. The C is for content.
I have no background in music at all, but I'm able to create tangible music with this.
This is a new software program called GarageBand, which is winning fans from legions of wannabe musicians like Troy Paiva.
GarageBand has released my inner Phil Spector.
Doorman turned filmmaker Jonathan Coet used an iMac computer to edit his first film.
If you can read and write, you can make a movie now.
Tarnation, with its $218 budget, caught the attention of director Gus Van Sant of Good Will Hunting fame. And suddenly, this little movie ended up at the Sundance Film Festival.
This technology is enabling, people that never had a voice before to come out of the woodwork.
But creating is not enough. Generation C uses the internet to show off. A recent survey found 44% of all adult users have created some kind of content and posted it on the web. Frustrated after a stint in New Hampshire, J.D. Weiner created a nonpartisan blog to help young people understand election year politics.
Young people spend most of their waking hours on the internet, so it was a very natural step.
The blog he started with some friends, Dinner for America, gets 30,000 hits a month.
You can just put up a blog and people will come and talk about your life or sex or politics, and if you're any good at it, people will come to see what you have to say.
Technology redefining freedom of expression as a growing number of Americans decide they'd rather do it themselves. For Today, Ann Thompson, NBC News, New York.
Donny Deutsch is chairman and CEO of the advertising agency Deutsch Incorporated and also the host of The Big Idea on CNBC. Hey, Donny, good to see you again.
Good to be here, guys.
Generation C is a weird generation because it's not really a particular generation. It's all age groups.
It's a mindset. And I would actually call it Generation E, Generation Entitlement, that basically my opinion, my voice, my artistic freedom is well-deserved and I can do whatever I want.
So this is not just the creative side of us begging to be exposed. You think there's much more behind this?
I think it's more self-expression. I think this is a generation that grew up, other than the baby boomers, this is the first generation in terms of at least the youthful part, that has a critical mass that says, you know what, we count, we're going to make a difference.
It's ego is what you're saying.
It's entitlement. I think it's really, and it's basically that my opinion is as good as any great writer and my ability to create music is as good as any musician, and it's kind of a crazy, brave new world.
Well, it's funny what you say right there. It leads me in a different direction. It's a little bit like it's born of our egos and our entitlement, but it's then our dissatisfaction with what other options we have out there.
Yes, an interesting thing, an exercise that happened, there was this thing, MoveOrg.com, where they kind of put out to everybody, create your own commercial, your own anti-Bush commercial, and there were like 20,000 commercials, and I had to view a lot of them. And the fascinating thing is most of them were kind of lousy, which a lot of this content stuff is lousy, but there are some gems in there, and I think you saw this with this $218 million movie, so it's interesting stuff.
Does this empower us as individuals and give us a common thread, or because we're all doing our own things and going off in different directions, does it alienate us more?
I think if I had to choose the one, I think it empowers us more. It basically lets anybody publish. And I think what it does for people, the interesting thing is it kind of takes corporate America out of a lot of things. So basically all of these things that are homegrown and are pure basically don't have a corporate voice behind them and really can't be monetized. So it's the ultimate kind of democratic solution for the internet.
And actually you segue perfectly into my question, which was how does it affect mainstream pop culture?
It basically is creating...
Like what you do, for example.
Basically, theoretically, it could create kind of basically virtual advertising agencies. That basically people have these tools now. Now, I'd like to think that what we do for a living is a little more professional than that and whatnot. But basically, there isn't any form of communication, any form of expression that now can't be done with people. I mean, Nokia is coming out with mobile phones now where you can do your own blogging on the phones. Basically, you don't even have to download it. Basically, chronicle your own story, your own life on your mobile phone.
I guess the question to end this on is, if we're all creating this content and we're putting it all these places, who has time to watch all this stuff?
Well, that is, you know what, the reality is people don't, and I think that it will self-select, and only the cream will rise to the top. And basically, I think the Today Show and Deutsche Advertising will stay in business.
Okay. Thanks for the plug. Donnie Deutsch, good to see you.
Good to see you,
Have
man.
a good weekend. 15 after the hour. Up next, actress Lindsay Lohan tells us about being a mean girl. Doesn't look that mean. But first, these messages.